Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight she's a figure model, an actress, all-around artistic hippie, Austin Judd. How's it going, Austin?
Good. How's it going with you?
Hey, it was good meeting and chatting with you over at the Days of the Dead Film Festival. How much fun did you have over there?
Too much fun. I was walking the entire time, and I wore nothing but 6 inch or higher because I have to wear really cute outfits, because that's what you do at cons. So my dogs were barking, but I had the best time and the best leg muscles after, so it was good. Solid.
Oh, girl, I saw those legs when you were wearing that beautiful red dress. I was like, wow.
Thank you. That was my anti-Jessica Rabbit look.
Hey, I liked it. You were looking good. Now, let's
Thank
talk
you.
about the film, which won Best Feature, but it's also won a lot of awards from other film festivals around the United States. Let's talk about Cannibal Comedian, where you play Crystal in the film, and it's like written by Sean Heights and Stephen Ward, right? Steve Ward?
Yes.
Yeah, and before that, you worked with Sean on another film called Big Top Evil with Bill Moseley. Tell me a little bit about Big Top Evil and what was it like to be on set with Bill Moseley?
Big Top Evil was the funnest project that I ever got into, and it really set me off on wanting to do this for a living. I showed up on set. My friends, I should say, were the photographers for the big audition that Sean was holding for his movie, and I couldn't drive. And he said, Austin, this movie's perfect for you. I know you've been wanting to get into acting. I'll get a ride over for you. So I got over there and auditioned, and I got the part for Candy. And it was a very crazy role. She's kind of like Baby from House of a Thousand Corpses, just kind of like very psycho. But she's a hunter, and she liked hunting down those kids who were coming to see the Mangrove Slasher, which was Sean's first movie. It was a little, foreshadowing. And I am part of the circus. I am the daughter of the ringleader, and Bill Moseley plays my uncle, competing ring circus, whatever. And I lure people in, and we have them for dinner, and we play with them and show them a good time. And I got to learn the web act, that rope act from the Flying Walendas. Alex Walenda was underneath there swinging me. I was wearing Aurelio Walenda's outfit. Like, these were all very mind-blowing things for me to be able to experience. I got to meet the duo Guerrero, who are amazing balancing stunt actors, performers. I also got to meet the Tito's Flying Circus, where I got to actually try the trapeze for the dream sequence. Like, the things I got to do in this movie were things that people would put on their bucket list that they wish they could do, and I got to do it just because I was part of the project. So, best thing I ever did, best decision I ever made, and it took a long time because it was free. Everyone was kind of putting in their dues just because they were really excited about this project. And so, when Sean went to do another project, he knew how much I could do, and he knew the kind of characters I could bring, and he's like, I have a character that's perfect for you. We need to get you out here to LA. And that's how I got to be part of Cannibal Comedian. Yeah,
you played Crystal. You were like an artist, just traveling out in the California desert before you met, of course, Charlie, which is played by Aaron Prager. So when I was talking to you at Days of the Dead, before we saw the film, you said you met Aaron, who plays Charlie, in the film for the first time when you guys were getting ready to film your scenes.
Yes. One more thing I wanted to finish up with Bill Moseley, Big Top Evil. I almost forgot to tell. Fun fact, I got to do his makeup. So all the posters and stuff that you see, I got to do his makeup on set that day.
Oh, that's it.
But back to the first day that I got on Cannibal Comedian, I show up on set, and I'm so excited to see Miss Sadistic and Lucifer's Act because I worked with them in Big Top Evil, and I love them so much. I call them my fairy drag parents, and they know why. And I just see Aaron Prager sitting there at the table. I'm like, oh, this is the guy playing Charlie. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. But then we just kind of didn't talk. We didn't really want to get to know each other. I kind of wanted to know him as his character, Charlie, and he kind of saw me the same way, but we never said anything. It was kind of a mutual kind of thing. And so on set, when we were in character, that was the only time we really would interact. And I think it really helped in our performance and our bond that you would see on camera.
I think so too. I loved how you and Aaron, played off of each other in that role. I mean, you guys made it like brutal and exciting at the same time. It was like a love-hate type of relationship in the movie. Because Charlie wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but also a cannibal. And I love how you guys played it off. So when you guys were playing off each other in certain scenes, did you guys also ad-lib a little bit too in certain scenes, or did you just go by the script?
I felt myself very close to the script because it did kind of tie close to my character. I feel any improvisation we did was very emotional and through the nonverbal. Our conversations were very deliberate because when you see what happens at the end of the movie, everything I've said kind of led up to, oh, that's what she meant by that, or that's why that was that way. So it all just really fits in that improvisational wasn't really our thing. Our moments were very much like centering and getting the story moving along to the next piece versus the comedy bit, the funny parts. You know, it was that tying story in between everything.
And also, you got a little bit bloody there, a little bit in the film too. So, how much fun did you have, being covered in blood?
Funny story. Blood actually makes me pass out very easy. But when I got covered in blood on set and everything like that, it's not realistic. It's sticky. You smell it. It's like corn syrup. You smell the sweetness, and you're able to set yourself apart from that reality. But there's so many movies where I'm literally like, I love the story, but I have to watch it like this.
Oh, you have to close your eyes when you watch the story with all the blood. Also in the film, I also like how you did that cool, photo for that CD cover of you, that it was a cool photograph.
Thank you. That was actually taken by my husband, Alexander Judd. He's a photographer, videographer. He does the audio tech for the West Coast Black Theater Troupe and graduated from Full Sail University. He worked with big star names at HSN, and so he really knows his stuff, and he got that captured in a lot of the other images you might see of me that they used for the show.
And I love how you portrayed Crystal. I love the mannerisms. You were like a go happy hippie who wants to, make it to the big time as an artist. And boy, you had some you got it going on doing those little dance moves through the whole movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were getting it on.
She's a girl who loves life and doesn't take shit from anybody. That's for sure.
Exactly. That's what I like.
She's trying to follow her bliss no matter what.
Now let's talk about Miss Statistic, who played
Miss Statistic.
Yeah,
yes.
Who played Eleanor?
Miss Statistic in Lucifer's Acts. Yes.
Yeah. I loved her in the film, man. She nailed her role to the T, man. You can tell she really got into it. When I watched her role, I really felt she was really that person that was, really, helping Charlie out and was really that bad, but also kind of cool at the same time.
Well, she is such a natural performer. She has been doing this kind of stuff for a long time, hosting, doing drag, performing as just crazy characters that it's just a part of her now. And if you just direct her, Sean knows how to direct his people. If you just direct her, she makes that character a real person. No matter how crazy they may seem, you're like, I believe you. You are amazing. And one of my funnest things on set was I would just have her in Lucifer's Acts in our trailer while we were practicing lines going back and forth. And I'm like, wow, we really live in the life. This is what we've been wanting to do. And just being able to be full circle with them, having done a movie before and getting to run lines now, we're like, wow, look at us. We're just building those memories. And you really build a bond on set when you have to depend on each other. And they're an amazing couple. And I was just so excited to work with them again.
So on the set, did you guys all eat meatball sandwiches?
Oh, God. Yeah. The first day on set, the notorious meatball scene. They had to deal with meatballs all day. And when you eat things on set, you are eating it over and over, check on, different scenes, make sure you get the right cut. And unbeknownst to anybody, when we showed up to dinner that night, there we had meatballs waiting for us, and nobody wanted to touch them. And then, later the next day or a couple days later, we had ribs, and it was alternating ribs and meatballs all week. And so we just use it for props on set. When you see me gorging down on food or you see any bones kind of straight as jewelry, that was our lunch or dinner or we ate it through the week. It was not like fresh things every day. We were in the middle of the desert. We ate what we had and we made the best of everything. But man, were we sick of meatballs and ribs by the end of the week. Ugh.
I bet it was. And when I was talking to Aaron, who played Charlie, he said when you guys were out in the desert, it was very hot, and Aaron, said he had a hard time for doing his certain scenes because it was so freaking hot. And then there was a dream sequence between you and Charlie. It was kind of a messed up, morbid kind of love, corkscrew,
right, sick twistedness.
Yeah. So when you guys were out in the desert doing that scene, were you guys like sweating pretty hard? Because Charlie was saying it was like really, really hot.
Yeah, it's funny he said that. It wasn't as hot to the rest of us who wore barely anything on set. If you ask me and Miss Sadistic, there were quite a few times where we were trying to not shiver through our lines. Miss Sadistic especially. But during the day, there were warm times, but he had to wear like long sleeve hat, jeans, layers, and that apron. I had like pajamas and underwear, and Miss Sadistic had like the tiniest little dresses and has no weight on her. So I guess it just depends on who you ask and what time of day it was. But we were all huddling around the heat at night over in that one room that we had that had a heater.
Yeah, that's. I bet it was, and another cool thing I like about the film, it was a montage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can tell how the cinematography shot the certain angles and scenes from the desert, from the house. It did kind of have a Texas chainsaw effect.
Yeah, you can definitely see the movies that Sean was inspired by because we're all huge fans of the genres. Going from like the 70s, 80s, even as far back as the 60s, it's fun to throw in little like touches here and there to give credit to those who kind of brought those creations, but also we're borrowing it because we have another part of that tale to tell. We all share kind of ideas and get inspired from other ideas, but you also want to acknowledge those as well.
Besides, there was like a lot of, brutal, bloody scenes, which was done by, Andrea. I mean,
she was amazing. Yes,
she was amazing, and I kind of felt bad for her when I found in the film she was in the body bag who Aaron was dragging as one of his victims across the desert. So I wonder how much pain she went through that since she did all the makeup and special effects.
It was not fun. I know it was not fun for her because I know it's also in a bag. You're insulated, you're claustrophobic, and you have to just pretend you're dead until they say cut. Like, I can't imagine how that must have felt. I know that she just didn't want her face seen on camera, though. She's like, just show as little of me as possible. So, like, throw a bag over her. She was just fine with that.
That's pretty. Yeah, that was pretty cool. When after the film, when he said about that, I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that was her." But she did a good job with all the blood and the kills. I mean, there was a lot of brutal and bloody kills in the film. But another thing I liked about it too was I love how Sean brought some cheesiness in it into a horror film. Kind of remind me of watching one of those sci-fi channel kind of like cheesy but bloody brutal films. I love how he added the cheesiness, and I loved how he brought Robert Dunn in as Carrie, who was the comedian that owned his parents' comedy store and bar. And I love how Carrie, did some of his cheesiness for comedy too. And then, of course, Friends, that was filmed before a live audience. I thought that was funny.
He was perfect for Carrie, for the character. He brought the light into the darkness. When you have like a dark sense of humor, he was definitely the humor part of our dark side. He was able to just kind of bring the silliness in at just the right moment, and a lot of the stuff that he came up with was improvised. He is naturally that funny.
Yeah, I remember when I was sitting with you watching it in the back, the film, you heard me, it's like, man, I want to kill Carrie really bad. And you gave me that weird
and
look.
You can't help but talk about him when he's on set. He's like, wait, why did he smell his fingers? What's going on with him? Like, why did he make that? Why did he do that? He was just, the subtleties he does in between the jokes are even funny. He knows exactly what he's doing with his character. And even if you ask him why he did something, it's like, I don't even know why I did that. I was just doing it. He just does it. He's hilarious.
Yeah, and between Crystal and Charlie, I mean, like I said earlier, you guys had some great scenes, and it was kind of the love and hate thing, and
yeah, that Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, the Stockholm syndrome, and I love I'm not going to spoil it, but I love how, Crystal got, her justice. That's all I'm going to say,
Yeah.
but poor Charlie, but, he kind of deserved it a little bit though, too, man. So,
I mean, he did kill people and eat them and serve them to people who didn't want to eat them. It happens.
And I love how it ended because how the film ended, it does leave an open for a part 2. So fingers crossed, I hope Sean does a part 2.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. There's so many more jokes we could make if there's a part 2. I mean, you don't know what to do. I can't even tell all my ideas that we could do for the second one because I don't want to ruin what people haven't seen yet. But I just feel like the path we could go could just be so funny. It has so many different ways it can go, and the characters are classic. I think there'll be repeatable characters that you'll see at Comic-Cons and cosplay.
I think so too. Do you think your role, Crystal, do you think she would be a kick-ass final girl?
Oh yeah, I think she's a total kick-ass final girl, and if I were inspired by any final girl, it would definitely be her.
Also, you did you've done some martial arts as well, and
yes.
How come you didn't use any of your martial arts skills in the film?
I don't know. I sure bragged about it enough. I would be like, hey, I know jujitsu. Hey, I know jujitsu. To the point where they got sick of it, but then you say it enough, it gets funny again. And now I'm working toward my black belt in Taekwondo. I'm in my red belt, getting my black tip soon. And, I don't know why they don't want me to kick anyone's butt. Maybe they're scared.
That would have been cool if you were able to kick Aaron's ass.
Maybe in the next movie.
I could picture it. Now, let's talk about your short film you're doing over at Ringling College. Tell me about Revelations.
Yes, I am the choreographer, the lead actress, and also the lead actress. And sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
So you do the choreography.
Makeup artist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I got nervous because we were talking so much about Cannibal Comedian. I'm like, oh yeah, Revelations. It's a completely different movie. We got funding for it because it's about environmental awareness, and it became a student film for the Ringling College of Art and Design. And it really shows the impact of humans to the environment. And we have this amazing costume designer who designed these 4 amazing bird costumes on stilt walkers. And I'm the human who interacts with them, and you see the transition and changes as you see the human interaction with the earth. And it's just very beautifully done, and it's very emotional to be going out into film festivals eventually. But it was a really beautiful project with really good meanings behind it.
So, that's pretty awesome. So, when you you and the cast, saw, Cannibal Comedian at the different film festivals of different audiences, what was going through your mind and thoughts when you were sitting in the room with, the audience who's never seen the film? What was going through your head to see yourself, on the screen watching it with some horror fans?
At Days of the Dead, I feel like I really saw it for the first time. When I saw it in California the week before for its world premiere, it was so weird seeing me on camera as somebody else through the whole movie, and being able to just kind of like follow that journey and see the movie for as it was. And this time, because I already know what's going to happen, I was able to just kind of enjoy the movie for as it was. And I sat in the back just so I can get people's reactions. I just, not to feed my ego, just to be like, did they think that was funny too? Like, are they laughing when we're laughing? Did they think it was as funny as we did on set? And it came across way better than I thought. Like, everyone was laughing with us. We were all making jokes back and forth. Like, we were really enjoying a movie that we were seeing, that not just because we were in it, but because we were just watching a fun movie we really enjoyed. And that was so fulfilling and like such an amazing experience for me to be able to, get feedback right away as I'm watching something that was quite a fun experience. It's like a multi-dimensional thing. You're remembering making the movie, but you're also watching it with people getting feedback right away. It's like you're living in 2 different worlds.
I think so too, and I really enjoyed it, and I talked to some people afterwards, and they really enjoyed it as well. And I love sitting in the back with you and Aaron. I love how you guys were giving me like some fun facts about the film. You guys kept on like whispering in my ear going, yeah, this scene right here, actually, we almost did this way and that way. And you're like, yeah, but check this scene. Here's another fun fact. I love how
this was our first scene together. Oh, this was where we did this. This was all improvised. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to be able to do. I felt like we were making our own little track in the back for the Blu-ray.
You were, and that was fun. And I was sitting right in the middle of it. I was like, oh, wow, really? I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. It made the film watching even more fun with me because I was sitting between you guys. You guys were both entertaining. So.
And we were trying not to talk so much, but we were just so excited in the moment. But
yeah.
That's just how we are, you know.
And also, like I said, it won Best Feature at Days of the Dead, man. Congratulations to the whole cast and Sean.
That was a shock and super exciting. You know, I feel Sean definitely deserves it. We worked together as a team as best we can at every moment because, you know, when you're on set and you're so isolated, you really put everything you can to try and get the most into the movie. When it comes out and everyone loves it as much as you do, you're like, oh, we weren't imagining it. This is actually great. It feels really good. It just feels really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was like at awe. I was like, I never seen anything, and it was just so fun because the film also reminded me of, you know, being a kid, you know, back in the 80s, you know, early 90s, going to a mom and pop, you know, video store, and you know how you see like, you know, the different covers with the artwork on it, which is real nice. It leads you in there. And Cannibal Comedian remind me of one of those mom and pop, you know, straight to video VHSs that you would take home and rent. I got the feel
like
of that.
Jeepers Creepers kind of level.
Yeah, and I got the feel of it. It felt like I rented the VHS and I was watching it on my VHS player. It kind of reminded me of all that. And I like, you know, horror films that do have a little cheesiness in it, which, you know, made the icing on the cake. So.
You can't take yourself too seriously in this kind of genre or you will be seen as ridiculous.
Exactly. And like I say, Cannibal Comedian, it rocked. And, I love indie, you know, horror. And I always like to support, you know, indie horror filmmakers as well. Now, the one thing I want to talk to you about is you're a figure model.
Yes.
What's a figure model? And then also, you know, tell me about your nudity show.
Of course, yes. So I am a figure model for a living. I work regularly for the Ringling College of Art and Design. And my job is basically everyone's worst nightmare. You get up in front of class, you have nothing prepared, and you're completely naked. But that's okay, because I enjoy it. When I work with new students and they're like new artists, they still have hopes and dreams. So when you're like delivering really cool poses, they get super excited. And when you're helping be a part of their projects that help make or break their grades, you really bond with them. And there's something really beautiful about that environment. And nudism.tv supported me in giving me a show. It used to be a lot more scaled up, but they scaled it down due to some threats. But it's called Austin Figures, and I desexualize nudity and talk about the figure model life and other parts of my areas of my life to kind of like take away the illusion of like, oh, she's naked in front of a college student. Oh, you know, we see the art museums, but we, you know, shame the models for posing for it. It just seems ridiculous to me. And I think it's just because there's this facade of how people think it is versus how it really is. Because we've all seen Titanic, and I really have been drawn like one of Jack's French girls. One of the lead artists actually is a professor at the Ringling College of Art and Design, and he's drawn me multiple times. That's my fun drop there.
Oh, I bet you like that. I totally agree with you. Like, you know, go to the museums, you do see a lot of, paintings of naked people in there. And to me, I think the female body is actually like naturally like an art piece anyway. I admire the naked female body. I mean,
and to shame it and censor it is just to control people, and I don't like being controlled personally. So take that. Dang,
I'm gonna have to come to Ringling College and take one of your art classes while you're posing nude. But me,
yes, exactly.
But me, when I draw it, you'll look at it, it'll be all stick figures.
Well, I mean, if you want to pay $100,000 or so to draw me as a stick figure, that's your choice. So. It's flattered.
I love your how you're artistic of being a hippie.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, when I first met you, you were kind of, dressed like the little, casual hippie. I was like, man, look at that hippie over there. She's got that beautiful smile.
That was my travel clothes.
I know. And I like it because you were just unique, man. You were just a unique hippie at a horror convention.
I was enjoying the scenes. Like, I could not stay still. There was so much to see, so many people to meet, so many cool, like, costumes and artworks and competitions going on. It was fun to check it all out.
Now, also, Cannibal Comedian's going to be at another great horror film festival, Horror Hound. So what's your thoughts about that? Horror Hound's a big deal, too.
I want to go. I'm going to try working out going, and if I don't go, it's because I had a really good reason. But I'm going to try making it out there. I had too much fun not to try.
Besides Revelations, is there any other projects you're going to be in?
I was cast in a movie called Occult Detective, where I'll play the lead ghost. It'll probably be filmed next year or so, but there's some promotions out for it. You might be able to find Occult Detective. I just did a short little film in January for an indie that was Sister Psycho, where they did the reverse roles, where for Psycho, but the female version.
All right. So where can everybody find you on social media, what you're doing next, and of course, Cannibal Comedian?
Yes. Well, you can check everything out at austinjudd.com, AUSTINJUDD.com. I have all my handles there. I have my resume. I have my history. I have works I've been up to. You can check out my videos. I have some cool underwater dancing that I've done. I've done body painting. I've done fashion. I've done everything you can think of, and I have it all up on my website.
All right. And where can they also find Cannibal Comedian?
You can find Cannibal Comedian at, I think it's Cannibal_comedian on Insta. Yes.
And you can also find, Cannibal Comedian on Twitter and also good old Facebook.
Good old Facebook. Basically, if you Google Cannibal Comedian, we're everywhere.
I know, you're like everywhere. It's like, Hey, Austin, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And everybody, thank you for listening.